to Cargo Transportation Masterclass, a fresh start for shippers globally after global pandemic. This is the only online event dedicated to support fellow business owners in transportation industry to bounce back after pandemic faster. And I am delighted to introduce to you today Leonardo Zangrando. Leonardo is a founder of startup Wharf, the independent global network of maritime startups with a mission to enable startup-driven maritime innovation and transformation. Startup Wharf supports startups and entrepreneurs to develop business in the maritime industry while helping investors to discover and engage with startups. Hello, Leonardo. Welcome.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you, Lina, very much for organizing this. As I always think, when things get tough, the tough get going, or how they say, you know. So we really have to take control of what is going on and what is happening to us, and get in the action rather than waiting for things to happen.
So true. And today with Leonardo, we discuss how can startups cope with the current economic downturn driven by the COVID global outbreak. Leonardo, you are extremely versatile professional. Before we start speaking about how to bounce back the business after global pandemic, tell us what pain points industry has that Startup Wharf address.
Well, I come from a background as a naval architect, so I know the industry. And on the other side, I've been working with startups for the last 10 years, startups in all sectors, not maritime, because there weren't any almost 10 years ago. And so I created Startup Wharf to put the two things together. And basically two main aims. One, to help startups achieve doing business in maritime. And two, help the maritime sector get exposure to startups and get to know that they can innovate thanks to startups.
Absolutely. The biggest risk today that startups face is the ways to look to extend runaway. What are the ways to conserve cash that, from your experience, work well?
Well, okay. So the first suggestion that comes to mind, and actually I've heard it several times, and I'm not endorsing it, but now I tell you, the first thing you will always hear is pay later and cash earlier. So collect your credits early and pay your debits late. This is fine in normal times, but actually in these times it just puts a burden on someone else, and you can be the someone else, because if your suppliers say okay, let's collect cash as soon as possible, you're in trouble. And if your clients say let's pay as late as possible, you're in trouble. So this strategy is really it's not a win-win strategy, it's a lose-lose or win-lose strategy. So what else we can do apart from the usual, let's not pay the suppliers, or let's get our customers paid?
Right.
So I would say it's difficult, of course. And for startups, it's even worse, because really running out of cash is the worst thing that can happen. So I would say, yes, reduce your expenditures. And this is obvious. Reduce your expenditures to the minimum and even lower than that. And you can see it even in your household. Because now in your household, not as a startup, but as a household, that maybe you're not earning as much as you were before, you see that you will start eating into your savings. You don't want to do this. And how you cope with this? Well, you spend less. So this is first obvious suggestion. But the other thing is, okay, do you really want to spend that much to build your product or service so that it's perfect and then hope that your clients will buy it? I'm not sure so. I think that you want to save as much as possible and be the leanest as possible in how you build your product and how, or service, and how then you deliver it. I'm not saying be sloppy, but I'm saying, particularly for a startup who has still to develop, validate their business model, validate the business model in terms of the value that you offer to your clients, not how nice or fancy is your
Yes.
website.
Yes.
So really look at the value that you're offering, and make it the most with the least additional things that are not relevant.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for bringing this up. Revenue indeed is likely to be curtailed. And I am curious to hear your projections for startups who are counting or contracts to be closed in the future. What are the risks?
Well, our sector is really, really tough. It's tough in normal times. It's tough in normal times because margins are low, and startups clients are notoriously prudent about adopting new technologies and new business processes. So now this is just getting even worse in a way. But on the other side, there might be opportunities coming from your potential clients who are suffering because of the crisis. So let's think, who is suffering the most because of the crisis, and how can I help them with my product or service? Of course, I won't be able to sell it at full price, at premium, but I think that selling at premium today is not the issue. The issue is selling, full stop. So definitely look where you can really help your clients and where they can really get not value, not additional value, but value in terms of savings, in terms of staying alive rather than floundering themselves.
Exactly. What are additional ways or new ways maritime startups and supply chain startups could shift their focus and become part of the solution to solve a global pandemic?
Yeah. Well, now this is interesting, because now we are saying we are in trouble, our industry is in trouble, our industry is the most prudent. But on the other side, our industry is one of the few, together with healthcare and other essential sectors, who has to stay alive and has to be working full-time, probably not full speed, because the consumption overall is going to go down, so there will be less demand for transportation, but it's still going to be there. Food supply chain, it has to be there.
Of course.
Healthcare supply chain, it has to be there. So let's look at these supply chains and how we can help them, rather than probably, I don't know, clothing or like things that today are not so essential because stores are closed and so on. But food, healthcare, and other essentials, definitely let's look at these sectors as sectors where we can help, and we can help them and help the COVID-19 problem.
Exactly. And this can also open entirely new avenues of business opportunities for the companies which have not been anticipating it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that this is a kind of a recurring theme in the last days. As I said in the beginning, things are getting hard, okay? If you just wait for them to pass, maybe you don't have a runway to do this. And what's the point? So you're just wasting 6 months of your life, of your cash, of your whatever. Or you take action to really live in the moment, and for how tough and how bad it is, but live in the moment. Okay, what is that in this moment I can do to cope with, to support the industry and the world with the troubles caused by COVID, and in this way also support myself. It might be there is not much cash attached to this, but if you manage to cope even with little cash and position yourself as someone who is really active and proactive,
Yes.
to do things even when things are hard, then I think you're building an incredible value for the future when things will get better.
So true. Do you agree with me that in these situations, the core leadership will also stand up of the startups?
Well, yeah. Again, what I was describing is a way of being leaders. Is really real leaders will shine. Real leaders will come out, and followers, well, probably not so. So you have to be a leader. You have to organize things like you're doing. You guys, you're doing something great right now with these interviews and all the others. You are helping startups succeed or survive at least in these trouble moments. Instead of, you could have just been whining and saying, "Oh, things are going bad," and you're not doing this. Actually, the approach is exactly the opposite, and that's what I'm supporting.
Fantastic. That's why we unite like-minded individuals, experts for this masterclass, but also the idea is that let's get together and we can outlive this winter and bounce back stronger. Leonardo, there was a lot of hype, in particular for the last few years in supply chain industry and among maritime startups about a lot of investments coming in. Obviously, equity investments will slow down. What would be your insights on non-equity investments that startups should look and should tap into?
Yeah. Well, the usual thing that everybody will tell you: grants, government grants. Now here in the UK, we have apparently very generous plan to support small companies and solo entrepreneurs with government grants, government money, covering, say, I guess they get to 80% of revenue, of profits in the last 2 years. So that is good, or it looks good, but it's not so good for startups because you don't have revenues. Again, you have revenues, but you don't have profits because you invest your profits in your business. So, well, okay, let's be careful of all the big helps that we get, because as startups, we are really building something based on the trust that we have in ourselves and the belief that we will be able to make it. And it's very difficult to monetize this in front of a government or whoever. So grim outlook in this sense, but I would say do whatever, like any small idea that can bring you in some cash that is not massive, but that can help you like keep going. And consider also that you're asking this money to someone else who is in the same problem, in the same situation as yours. So you really have to provide value for that money that you're asking. So really here the focus is always more and more on the real value, and you really see the real value by how much money is people, companies willing to part with or to pay for your service. That's the real like litmus test of what is valuable or not.
Don't you think that it's fantastic? This opportunity, what's happening now in the market, is fantastic differentiator for the startups to really look and start offering real value instead of just go pitch your ideas and try to raise millions.
Yeah. Well, try to raise millions or billions, as someone has done. We could do like a 2 hours session, you and I, at some other time, on my thoughts about the unicorn model and all this crap, which is not crap, it's real money, unfortunately, but it's really, really eating into the world. Now, hopefully, this is going to go away for a while, and we are going back to real value, not putting tons of cash in a marketing machine. Yeah, in a marketing machine like WeWork, great idea, apparently, but not so. That was a marketing machine to create value, inflate value, and then sell it to the market at an inflated value, and then cash out on with like having the investors pay for it, like individual investors after the IPO. So, but this is my grim like perspective on investment. Of course, we need to find good investors who want to put money in valuable initiatives. And even if we don't find them, we have to think, I want to develop something that has value, not that has marketing appeal. It might have marketing appeal. It must have market appeal. It's not about bullshitting, pardon my French,
no, that's
about
okay.
how great is your product and blah, 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 is show me that your product is good. Show me that your service is good. And you were asking, we were saying small things that we can do. Yes, there are many small things that we can do. Now I'm planning to offer a coaching service to the startups. I never wanted to do it because it can't be profitable. I mean, I cannot ask too much money to a startup to coach them. I couldn't. Now even less. Okay, so but I decided to do it anyway, and to do it at a very, very low cost. That is not even, I mean, it's ridiculous, but at least gives me some income and gives startups a lot of value in terms of what should I do and how can I cope with this. So yeah, let's do whatever we can to provide value and monetize as little as possible, if you want, in a way that is worth for both sides to take part in the interaction.
This is so true. I believe that even competition should start working differently. Instead of going against each other, it's a perfect time to unite resources, to get to pull even customers sometimes together to make sure that startups deliver.
Yes, this is another important bit that I think I mean, the people who share this thought with you and with myself, that we should really be working together rather than competing with each other, as far as we can, of course. You will see who are, I mean, you cannot bullshit this.
No.
If you want to partner, you have to be open.
Yes.
And also the other side has to be open. Now, I've tried to partner with several people, companies, and after the first interactions, it was clear that they wanted to just take advantage of a situation. Okay, I say, no problem. I don't have to convince you that you are better off collaborating. you don't want to collaborate, you want to play the hard game where you feel that you're competing with me, that's fine. You're not my partner. It's super easy. Those who want to compete remain alone.
Yes.
Those who honestly want to collaborate, they do honestly collaborate. And I agree, it's difficult because you never want to be taken advantage of as a collaborative person, you know. But I think that we have to sort of open us to collaboration on one side, and on the other side be very sensitive about what is the person in front of me trying to do. Are they really trying to collaborate? No, I'm not saying don't trust them, but look at them with a clear mind and try and see what is that they are trying to do. And you will spot those who are trying to take advantage of you. And you just drop them. Okay?
Yeah.
And you stay with those who are good people that want to succeed and share their success with you, not take it from you, or the other way around. Okay?
Absolutely. Leonardo, you're mentioning a very important point of advisors to the startups.
Yeah.
Today, more than ever before, it will be more important for startups to lean or to seek for advice from the experts, from the industry fellows. What are the qualities in advisor that startups should look into?
Well, I can tell you what I'm trying to bring startups, or I've tried to bring startups anytime I've been advising them or coaching them. And this is the ability to understand them and their problem. I never wanted to sell a pre-cooked or something, pre-cooked plate, which is just the same stuff all over again, which is being sold again and again to different startups. This is not coaching. It's not honest. Well, it's not honest. It is honest as long as you say it. You say, okay, guys, I'm going to sell you exactly the same thing for whatever your trouble is. I'm going to sell you exactly the same thing. I'm not doing this, and I don't think this is the right thing to do for an advisor. You should be really able to understand the business and what they are doing and what they are trying to do, and see the things that they are not able to say because they are too much into it. I've had sessions with startups recently where just for the fact that I was outside, I could see some minor things that I just told them, look, but why are you, the problem was, where do I find customers? And I say, hold on one second. Who are you already talking to for other reasons? And they say, oh, this and this and that. And couldn't they be customers? Oh my God, we didn't think of it. Now I'm making too simple, and it looked that they were stupid, but it's not the point. They were not stupid at all. You know, the fact is that you have to have a kind of sensitivity to look at the big picture, look at where they stand, and ask the right questions. And so I would say, how do you quantify this? I don't know. And you just have to try and see whether you are happy to work, you as a startup, you are happy to work with an advisor which is too structured versus an advisor who is, like I could be, more like sensitive and trying to understand what is behind the things that you're asking.
Indeed. Leonardo, you shared already a lot of ideas with us today on what startups should do to recalibrate. If I asked you what would be the last and single advice on how they should sustain this winter of a global pandemic, what would it be?
Okay, so the advice, in my opinion, is that provided that you're able to survive with the things that we said before, doing small things for small money, but at least going on, what you want to do is take advantage of this slowdown because you're probably working less.
Yes.
And you have more time to build value for the future. And this means, for example, extend your reach to potential customers. Not trying to sell them, but extend your reach and maybe bring them some value that they will remember you as someone who was there while they were suffering during the crisis. Plan future strategic actions.
Love it.
Shape collaborations, shape partnerships, so that you really can survive or go through this storm and come out stronger when you come out. And definitely work with collaborations and partnerships, work with a network of people, which is something that I'm working on, and it will come out soon. So definitely build value for the future.
This is so true. It's a great time as well to reflect the ways we did business before global pandemic. Some of the ways we are not working anymore. It's also an opportunity to project, as you told, what we can do better, how we can take care not only of our customers, but also of our mind, of our employees. There's so much things we can have time now to tap into. Leonardo,
yeah.
I know that you have free gift to share with our audience. What is it?
Well, it is as I said, we offer coaching. I offer coaching to the startups, the CEOs of startups, and I want to bring this service to people who are listening, and I want to offer one session free of charge for the first 10 who register, and on the link that is stp.wf/one-on-one coach, one with the number, so it's stp.wf/one-on-one coach, and I hope to see you, many of you. I want to help you. I say this is a small gift, very, very small, but I think it's good to also start a relationship, and let's see if we can help you and help the industry and help each other to pass this storm and get out stronger than ever.
I'm so much touched with your gift, and thank you so much for your generosity. I just want to tell that there is no small gift, as long as it comes from the heart and willingness to help fellow business owners in the same industry, but even outside of industry. As you told, that supply chain, logistics touch every way of life. Leonardo, how our audience can find you, how they can follow you online?
So online, we have a website that is startupwharf.com. It's not particularly dynamic. It just tells who we are. It's like a brochure, an online brochure. But instead, there is more activity on LinkedIn. And actually, you can follow me. Reach out and contact me and connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me as Leonardo Zangrando. I think there are two in all over the world. I'm the one related to maritime.
Fantastic, very good. Leonardo, I want to say you huge thank you for your time today to share your insights, your willingness, your gifts with our audience, and for everything that you do for our maritime industry. Thank you so much.
And thank you for organizing this, and let's get stronger.
It is my pleasure. Today we had Leonardo Zangrando with us, founder at the startup Wharf, who is huge enthusiast to boost and propel maritime innovation. Thank you so much, Leonardo, again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.